by electrical activity in your brain. So the person will be seated in front of a computer, and then we can present them different images or make them do different tasks, and we can see the activity associated with, performing these tasks or being exposed to these images. So you'll start off by asking them to describe sort of all their sensations, and if it's colours for letters, you ask them to specify all the colours really precisely, and then a few months later you do it again and see if they get the same answer. And they do. They get really similar answers, and people who don't have synaesthesia just can't do this. Even if they're trying to memorize it or if they make it up, they just can't do it. Even after a week, they can't do nearly as well.
A synaesthete with similarly strong reactions would be James Wannerton, a British bartender whose synaesthesia is rather complex. For James, the names and textures he encounters result in powerful extrasensory taste sensations.
Just a lager, thanks, mate.
Sure. Derek, is it?
Oh, yeah, that's me. How much?
$6.50, thanks. Change.
Cheers.
Synaesthetes often have this very emotional aspect to their synaesthesia. Like when they're going through the colours for each letter of the alphabet with me, they go, oh, I hate this colour, it's a really ugly green, I hate G's because it's this ugly green. And then they'll have their favourite letter, S is lovely, it's this glowing pink colour, and it's my favourite letter because it's got this lovely colour. And that seems to be really common as well. Synaesthetes have this very emotional aspect to their perceptions as well.
Yeah, because it's like an ability to feel colour rather than just see it and appreciate it or dislike it or whatever.
If there are a higher percentage of synaesthetes among artists, actually, but
it will be interesting to know.
Yeah, that would be.
But I do know for a fact that a number of key artists have been synaesthetes. There are a lot of painters who try to somehow capture the experience that music could give you in a flat, still, unchanging object.
Poetry is a little bit like synaesthesia because you're just making connections between things that usually don't have connections. And poetry is all about metaphors, and metaphor is connections, and so is synaesthesia.
Voyelle. Par moi, Jean-Nicolas Arthur Rimbaud. A noir, E blanc, I rouge, U vert, O bleu, voyelle. Je dirais quelques jours vos naissances latentes. A, noir corsé velu des mouches éclatantes qui bombillent autour d'un cruel, golfe d'ombre.
I suppose it's a natural progression to go from being a poet to being a synaesthete, but whether it's something that's really perceptual, if it's just a sort of semantic link, is a separate question, and that's what separates the two.
I think if you're involved in art or something, in various kinds of art, like sort of visual arts or fine arts or creative arts, something like that, then if you hear, especially visual arts, if you hear that there are people, that there is an ability to associate colours with things intrinsically, then if I didn't have it, I would wish I did, because I would think that it would give me a different perspective on my art, or whatever it was, whatever kind of art it was, or a deeper understanding, or a new way of looking at it or something, and I suppose I would be quite sort of like, oh, why can't I have that? Or I want that. How do I get that?
I'd certainly like to be a synaesthete, so yeah, it is quite enviable. I think a lot of the pursuit of synaesthetic type artwork has been like trying to create that kind of experience. So I guess all of these people probably would have liked to have been synaesthetes if they weren't. That whole thing of trying to have this entire bodily experience where all the senses are engaged in some really sophisticated interacting way.
It's not like you see, you know, rainbow patterns or anything, you know.
It's not like, you know, little flying pigs go past or anything.
It's just a very, very firm sense, like with the ones that are strong. It's just a very, very strong sense of a colour in your mind. It's not even necessarily as if you're seeing the colour, but you can feel the colour.
I guess there is that potential. It's a bit silly, but I guess there is a potential that we could all evolve to having it in the end. It will just be sort of better.
Memories of girls I've met. Their voices sound much clearer on my cassette. I remember parties and